Oh, hey, it's another game. In fact, it's a PvP. It is Harstem versus SKillous again from the PTR tournament that Wardy put on Sunday, March 13th. And it's a pretty good series. I'd suggest taking a look, but before you do, YouTube, Twitch, you know the deal. Links are in the description below. And now, enjoy. It's Harstem SKillous. PTR. Have a good time. In the upper right, in the red, he is not from Team Liquid anymore. Now from the Shopify Rebellion. In the upper right, in the red, he is not from Team Liquid anymore. Now from the Shopify Rebellion. In the upper right, in the red. Okay, we're gonna fix that. Thank you for the feedback. Sorry about that, folks. Let's do this once again. In the upper right, in the red. Formerly of Team Liquid, now for the Shopify Rebellion. Oh, Captain, my Captain. He's Harstem. And in the bottom left, in the blue, for... Who's he playing? For Team GP, there we go. He is the Russian Protoss player, SKillous. Apparently everything's broken right now. It's fine. It's okay. We'll deal with it. So look at what we got here immediately. Technically, double gate expand openers from both sides on 2,000 atmospheres. Now, granted, 2,000 atmospheres is a map that most Protoss players go for double gate expand builds on. Not everyone. MaxPax is a player that doesn't, but most players do. Exactly. Harstem versus Harstem, Musari. It's all broken. It's fine. We'll get over it. I didn't have, I guess, the StarCraft window selected and everything. Just said, you want it to die. You want it to not work. Okay, I can make that happen. And a Yogurt Man. Yogurt Man. Thank you so much for the follow as well. Glad you're here. Okay. So, right now, again, 2-gate expand on the high ground. This means that, for the most part, the game will go on. We're not going to see too many crazy things. Looks like both players trying to wall their opponent's probes in, or at least Harstem's going to stop, but SKillous kind of walling his opponent's probes in. So, Harstem will lose this probe. Hey, thank you, Yogurt Man. I appreciate that. I worked really hard, not only on casting Katowice, but on the production as well. Everything you saw on the B stream, I was doing. The interviews, which I'm very proud of, because we got that. I convinced Aoki at like 9 o'clock at night to let me do it, because I realized we had vitamin on site. And I'm very proud about that. But anyway, Stalkers will find an adept here, and it will go down. So, SKillous a lot. Like, nice attempt at the body block. It doesn't work, but nice attempt at the body block to try to keep that adept alive just long enough. But it will go down, and one adept is technically useful, unless there's a shield battery. I mean, the WardiTV, given the choice between B streaming Katowice and be attending as a fan, I think I would choose the B stream, actually. So hopefully next year, who knows, maybe I do get invited. But for now, adept on the high ground will scout off. We'll lose about half of his health, but should be able to get on out of here. Although Stalker trying to chase it down may be able to make something happen with that. And you have one more shot. The Stalker will be able to kill this adept off. So all of the map control from SKillous early on is not map control anymore. Of course, that is what you want to go for with adepts. You try to represent pressure on the map. You keep the setup of Harstem at home. You make sure that if he runs out, if he's not paying attention, well, he's going to lose a lot of workers. That being said, SKillous really unsuccessful in that endeavor. And look at this. We have a Dark Shrine opener from Harstem in this game number 1. And this is a Twilight opener from SKillous. Twilight openers like this, they tend to delay Robo just a little bit. I think we got one 1-0 game, sorry. In Group B, but yeah, certainly we didn't do the playoffs. And you're right, yeah, B stream does not have Cero, but it's more of a matter of give him the opportunity to cast at Katowice versus attend as a fan. I mean, I'm going to take casting every time because A, casting pays me. B, It's a lot of fun. Although I'm gonna go to DreamHack Atlanta come hell or high water, whether I get invited or whether I attend as a fan. As the Dark Templars are gonna run in now, and this is a bit of a problem because the Robo where is the Robo? Robo's on the way. Probe is okay. So already Harstem or SKillous may lose at the natural, but the Robo is guaranteed to get on up now. We're gonna see. Well, actually, so the Sentry should pop up here. You can force field this pylon, and we're just gonna see a wall and a wall and a wall and a wall because Harstem, he needs to get in here to find the value he's looking for. Will not be able to do so. And now on the other side of the map, Harstem's going to try to, or excuse me, SKillous is going to try to make something happen, but there are enough Stalkers at home to try to at least hold on for now. There is no blink, but Immortals are on the way, and that's the timing we're looking for. As the Probes are joining this fight too, okay, why not? Sure, that's a good time. That's how this game goes. Okay, fine. Surprisingly enough, the DT is not really doing anything, and we don't have a lot of army here back for SKillous either. He's starting to slowly warp things in as the gateway almost dies. And in all honesty, it feels like, as whatever the Probe's doing in the main base, sure, okay. It feels like this already may have been enough. Yeah, one Dark Templar goes down before Probes have died, and SKillous was not mining from his natural for just about forever. Not allowed to do anything, so he's going to take his third base now, but he's down 3 workers, and I mean, I think this just tells the tale of things. So Harstem, his blink is now done. His third base just about the same time, maybe a little bit slower, but again, economically, he's been in a better spot, so not that big of a deal, and he's leveraging this into faster upgrades, into additional Immortals, into all of these power units and powerful tech that will allow him to find an advantage later on, because the way PvP works, it is very much a game of, okay, we can tango on 2 bases, we can tango on 2 bases, maybe do a cha-cha, salsa, I don't know, but we can do things like that. We can move forward and backwards on 2 bases. There's aggressive potential there. But funnily enough, taking the third base is not often seen as an aggressive potential. Sometimes players do it. Max Pax is a good example, who will attempt to exert pressure on the third. But because of how shield battery timings tend to go, and because blink is often done by then, +1 is mostly done, neither player wants to take the chance of losing the game in exchange for maybe winning the game, because it feels like their chance of throwing the game away or finding themselves at a disadvantage is higher than their chance of winning the game in that timing. So, good old handshake. Third base now down, and we're going to see some Archons get morphed in here, which does maybe mean that Harstem wants to get aggressive. He's got a Warp Prism on the way as well, and with charge just about done, +1 actually being done, this is Harstem's timing to maybe find some value on the map. Maybe knock down the third base, maybe find his way into the natural, and he's up 20 army supply. And this is where we were really starting to see the advantage of, yeah, his DT's got 4 workers, but it was 1 base mining for SKillous for quite a while. So now the Immortals, the Zealots, the Stalkers, the Archons, all the good stuff that Harstem has in his army is going to start marauding on forward. It's a 20-30 army supply lead. Second Archon gets warped in. Stalker blink forward, knock down the detection pretty much immediately. We're just waiting for the Zealots to really come on into things. There's 1 Immortal out for SKillous, but that is only 1. And a lot of the static defense actually looks like it's going to be the natural from SKillous, not necessarily the third base. So this is something where Harstem can kind of move forward, make something happen. Disruptor Shot's going to move out, and it's only going to kill some Zealots of SKillous here. He's trying to make something happen, but the Immortal gets sectioned off by the 1 excellent force field. And while there is a Disruptor, it is only 1. It's not on cooldown, or not off a cooldown just yet. So the Immortal, the Archon, fighting the army on the north side. The rest of the army of Harstem fighting everywhere else. The Stalker's trying to get on top of this Warp Prism, but they will not be successful in that endeavor, and the army of SKillous is just slowly falling into the dirt. Yeah, shield batteries are good units, folks, but they only do so much. The Stalkers, again, they continue to warp on forward, blink forward. Archons trying to bring themselves into this engagement, and while +1 is done for both sides, SKillous does have that upgrade. The more stuff does beat less stuff here. Stalkers burst down both Disruptors. Zealots trying to get on top of things, but Stalkers don't even care because, hey, they got Zealots of their own. The bodyguard, the vanguard of the Protoss force, it's finding its way forward. And the only thing that is really keeping SKillous in this game is the fact that his Disruptors continue to progress out 1 by 1, and maybe, just maybe, eventually they'll find the shot that they're looking for. but I remain unconvinced. The army of SKillous now backed into a corner. And Harstem, he's got a dominant position in this game number one. Archon's just killing all the probes. The Natural's dead. GG SKillous says Harstem, the captain, takes game one. For Team GP, SKillous. And already we got a probe onto the other side of the map. We're gonna have to see. I mean, it's just a scouting probe. The only interesting thing is SKillous, again, he sends his probe just a little bit earlier, maybe wanting to make sure that there's nothing untowards being attempted by Harstem. But of course, a lot of these zany builds that you can accomplish, that you can go for, shield battery change. Sure, you can proxy a Stargate maybe for an Oracle or proxy Robo or something like that. But, okay, Harstem, he will just go for Schrodinger's pylon here, the pylon that, I don't know. I know that was something that I think Base Trade TV started talking about, that Rifkin started talking about, but I like it. It's this concept of you don't know what's happening with a pylon or not until you actually scout it. It could be a proxy, it could be something crazy, or it could just be a pylon on the map to make you think that something's happening. Because of course, pros do scout pylons. And looks like SKillous was successful for a second for forcing some inefficient mining. I mean, small things, it's probably worth 5 minerals, but 5 minerals can make a difference at the highest of levels. So for now, the scouting probe of Harstem is going to find its way in a little bit later than it might otherwise. In fact, it's not going to find its way in at all. Of course, it will scout that adepts are out on the map. This is an adept opener from SKillous. We saw that SKillous do this game one. Woefully unsuccessful in that endeavor. But we're going to have to see what happens in the second game now. So this probe is dead. There is nothing that the probe can do to stay alive. There we go. But the interesting thing now is SKillous, he's going for Stalker play behind this, which is not super crazy, but SKillous is one of those Protoss players that will absolutely lean into like 6-8 adepts as an opener. But for now, the Stalkers of Harstem find their way to the other side of the map. The Stalkers of SKillous, they arrive as well. So realistically, it's 2 adepts versus 2 Stalkers. And actually, the Stalkers of Harstem have to be a little bit careful, because with Shades, if the Stalkers of Harstem get low enough, SKillous can absolutely chase it down with the Shades. And then, hey, that's 2 dead Stalkers. That is definitely some aggressive potential from the Russian Protoss. But for now, Twilight's just about done, as this is Twilight before Nexus. And part of it was because Harstem went and blocked that. But even still, this is going to be a rather quick blink coming in from SKillous in this game. So we're going to have to see how he makes use of that. Is again, the adepts, they shield on forward, and Stalkers are starting to take some hull damage, but it's 3 Stalkers, 2 sentries. Now, this is not really a position that can be broken all that easily. Although the adepts actually find their way into the high ground, they're not going to be able to do anything, because that is a lot of Stalkers to not a lot of stuff on SKillous's or on Harstem's side of the map from SKillous. But it is a good scout at the very least. He knows what's happening, and we will see the adepts in the main base just now. They need to pair their shots, which means that they will only get 1 unit, I think, as the Stalkers on the other side of the map. Oh, Harstem got some really nice force fields there. So both Stalkers go down. The adept in the main base looks like it will not be able to escape 1 more volley, or 2 more volleys, and now it's dead. So that looked really good for SKillous. It looked like he had split Harstem's attention, found some value, but he only got 1 probe. However, Blink is just about done here. Actually, SKillous spending considerable chrono into it, at the cost of not exactly chronoing his Nexi. Which may mean he's looking for a bit of a time here. Stalkers continue to warp in. Now, we don't have a pylon across the map. We don't have any sort of robo just yet. It's on the way, but there's no warp prism. So SKillous moving out on the map here. This is pressure. This is not a committed all-in, anything like that. Okay, the Stalkers here, they will, well, they're not exactly going to take the Vest trade because while Blink is good and Blink keeps you alive, more stuff does beat less stuff. And the Harstem does have more Stalkers. Although the big deal, actually, there's no shield battery on the low ground. He's opted to forgo it for now, which is interesting. But of course, SKillous, he's got his third base on the way. He's not really committing to this. It was just pressure. Maybe he was going to be able to pick off a Stalker or two, something like that. And Harstem's Blink is going to be done in 5 seconds. So at this point, both players, they're at a similar spot, just getting to that spot in different ways. Ooh. Look at this, though. Harstem. This is a fake third. This is absolutely a fake third. We see multiple gateways coming on down. Adept Glaives as well. And that is an interesting decision against this Blink Stalker Immortal army. I don't know. I mean, sure, against Chartlots, Glaive Adepts are great. You can run Glaive Adepts into mineral lines and eviscerate things. Okay, never mind. It's a mistake. Reject everything I just said. These probes are still being produced. It's going to be charge. Harstem, we thought he was doing something next level, but he wasn't. Just going for charge. And folks, I'm sorry to say, excited to say, whatever you want to say, we have hit the mid-game doldrums. But this is a time where the game is roughly equal. Yeah, SKillous has lost just a little bit more, but not much, not really anything to say, oh wow, he's massively far behind. He's lost like double the resources, but both under 1,000. It's fine. So now the gateway explosion is going down. The second levels of tech are being created. As we see the Templar Archives go down, but Harstem, and he did this, actually no, SKillous did this last game, but Harstem just going into double disruptor play immediately. No time for Charge Lot Archon, although he will get charged. Of course, charge is a really impactful upgrade, but he's just going straight into disruptor play. On a map like Hardwire, it's long, it's often hard to break your opponent, so instead of wasting time with the mid-game Charge Lot Archon idea, and spending lots and lots of gas on things that could be better spent on disruptors, he's just going to go straight to disruptor tech. Trusting in the length of the map and the chokes and just the way you can play the map to keep himself safe as he gets himself up to 4, 5, 6 disruptors that will really allow him to make sure he takes the fight. We got a couple Stalkers here, just looking for a scout, I guess, looking for maybe some probe damage, but for now, Stalkers will be forced to blink on out. He does see that there is an Archon in this army. He saw the rocks are going down, so Harstem should now know that there is aggression coming on in from SKillous in this game number 2, which is fair because that's what's happening. The Stalkers, oh, he's actually going to lose these Stalkers on the north side. Yeah, sure, he's going to be able to blink out for now, but there are 2 sides of this army, and Immortals here say no. Zealots as well. So the Stalkers from Harstem will go down. It's only 6 army supply. It's only 3 Stalkers, but could be worse. And certainly it does slow down SKillous's aggression just a little bit. And hey, the Zealots, they're going to find the 4th base as well. So SKillous actually finds himself rather delayed in his pressure. Harstem doing a very good job of just poking here, poking there. Just little jabs on the left and right side of the torso. Distract him, setting himself up eventually for the Haymaker. And now the Disruptors are going to run forward here. Blink is, of course, done, so they're not guaranteed shots. But Harstem's army is a more complicated one, a more complex one than what Harstem has been able to, or than what SKillous has been able to make for the moment. As the shots go forward, but again, we don't expect these to really land. Immortal drops into the main base, also not going to be all that successful. As again, these Zealots look for damage. So thus far, this game has been a story of both players looking for harassment, looking for value, and just not really finding it. So as Harstem sits out here on the middle of the map, he is up in army supply. He's down in workers just a little bit, but that's, again, give or take, close enough. But here's the thing, though. He owns the high ground, which means disruptor shots. Yeah, SKillous is going to lose 6, 7 Zealots in the blink of an eye. And there's a reason he keeps these sentries with his army. Sure, Guardian Shield is nice. Force fields are nice. But the big deal is maintaining vision. which you will be able to do now as the Stalkers blink forward. The War Prism goes down immediately. No Immortals in it. The Mortals are down on the ground, but that is less maneuverability. That is less resupply potential, or less counterattack potential, I guess. The Stalkers do blink forward here. Disruptor shot on the left. SKillous is going to have to blink that one out, but there are enough disruptors here for Harstem that he can kind of constantly send out his own. Okay, disruptor shot. Ooh, big disruptor shot right there. Don't actually know how that many killed, but now disruptor shot's going to go on out, and it's going to be 2 for 0. Disruptors of SKillous now will go down. The Stalkers getting warped, or excuse me, Zealots are getting warped in. SKillous getting ready for this fight. Disruptor onto the Immortals as well. 2 shots. Oh my goodness, those are big shots on the Stalkers, trying to make something happen here, and they're just absolutely not. It's now onto the charge lots, onto the Archons to try to make sure that SKillous can hold this off. And hey, this army that he has, very good against the Stalkers, very good against the Immortals, but the Disruptors are just causing problem after problem after problem. But now SKillous does have Disruptors of his own, once again. And he will be able to find his way back. Will be able to shove Harstem for the moment off of that 4th base. Disruptors on the high ground. Disruptors on the high ground. What's he going to find? This Harstem links forward 1. But around the corner there, you're not really going to get the shots that you're looking for. So Harstem got his 5th base underway. SKillous kind of stuck at 4 for the moment. In fact, he lost his 4th in that engagement. All right, so now the Stalkers blink forward. 1 disruptor goes down. 2nd one goes down. 3rd one as well. The entire tech of the army of SKillous. Again, he does get reset. Disruptors move on forward. The Stalkers trying to get as many as they can. But there are still plenty of disruptors here. Again, Stalkers are going to have to blink out in this one. They don't really have the time, I don't think, to make sure something happens. But SKillous lost plenty on the north side. So Harstem now wedging his way on in here. Stalkers, there we go. The Disruptors, the final attempt here from SKillous. He's going to try to make something happen. Disruptor shots on the Immortals and the Archons, but actually a really good flank from SKillous here will force the recall on so many of these Disruptors with the Stalkers. They're running on in anyways. It's a flank on a flank on a flank. Both sides flanking the other, but it looks like Harstem's flank is just a little bit too powerful. Sure, we have Archons, and sure, Shield Battery Overcharge is powerful, but there's just too much burst here. Too much burst here now. So an Archon goes down. Disruptors recall, but now they're joining back in the army. Now the army of Harstem once again running forward. Theoretically, I think Harstem could blink on that, but of course, better safe than sorry. You don't want to blink in onto Disruptor number 1 and have Disruptor 2 kill your entire army, which can happen, but there we go. Now positive trades, bowling little balls of light. We're going to find some values. Again, the 4th base, it does go down. Stalkers blink forward, and that is going to be it. Oh, Captain, my Captain, Harstem. He takes game 2. He's got a date with Solar in the next round.